Hi, my name's Laurie Brooke and this is ourchildren.com.au. Welcome back. This week we want to talk about what happens now that you've separated. What's going to happen for your children? Most of you who have recently separated are probably wondering what you should do. If you haven't already done so, make sure you go and get independent legal advice. I know I keep harping on about that, but it is so important. The more information you have, the more prepared you can be. I am a strong believer that knowledge is power. So make sure you gain as much knowledge and arm yourself with as much knowledge and facts that you possibly can. You should also do your best to try and speak to your ex. The separation may have come as a big shock to them. So remember that whilst you have had time to come to terms with what is going on, they are at a different point in the emotional pinwheel to you. Similarly, you may have been the spouse who was shocked and surprised by the separation. If that's the case, make sure you take the time to process what's going on, speak to a professional, a counsellor, a psychologist, someone who can help you through that process from an independent and objective point of view. Give each other the time and give each other the space, but also make sure that they know that you want to talk and keep the dialogue open, especially regarding the children. If you find that the face-to-face discussions are difficult, you can try using our communication portal. We're here to help you during this process. But at the same time, you might find that going to a mediator in the first instance, or having some joint counselling sessions in the first instance would be the best port of call for you. Each family is going to be different depending on where you are at in the journey. So make sure you choose the method that is right for your family. Importantly, make sure your children are aware that no matter what has occurred between you and your spouse, that you both still love them and that they are your number one priority. When it comes to your children, it's important that you now sit down and figure out what's going to happen. Who do they live with? What time do they spend with the other parent? Where does changeover occur? Like I've said before, it's all about the nitty-gritty details. During this process, there are so many questions that need to be answered, and often are not. It is important to remember that when you are discussing arrangements for your children, don't focus on the big two. Remember the small ones as well. Think about Easter, Christmas, birthdays, school holidays, telephone calls. Will you have set nights? What time? What happens if you ring and, the other parent isn't home? Whose responsibility is it to call back? Mother's Day, Father's Day, school concerts and plays. Your children might not be at school yet, but they will get there eventually. So what happens when they've got school events on? When you're having these discussions, again, try and be as specific as possible. You may not need the details at the moment if you're getting along well. But like I've said before, what happens when you aren't? How are you going to resolve your disputes if it's not in your agreement now? The best time to come up with an agreement as to what will happen is when you're both getting on. How do you know what time you get on your child's birthday, Easter, or some other occasion if you haven't agreed to it and it simply states as agreed? And believe me, a number of orders and agreements come out of mediations and mediations, or when you sit down together and it says one parent will spend time with the child on its birthday as agreed, or you get half of the school holidays as agreed. The point of having this agreement on all these orders is that you've got something to fall back on when you can't agree. So when you can't agree, what time will you get? As hard as discussions may be now, it is better to have them now than wait until there is a full-blown disagreement. Remember, like I said to you before, we are here to help. We've got a number of mediators, counsellors, divorce coaches who can help you through this process if you need help. You can find them on our assistance page, or you can contact us. I will see you all next week. Bye.